Last week, we shared how several zero FIRs were filed in Manipur, and this week, we bring you details of 46 FIRs that the Indian Express accessed and analyzed. Now, these FIRs were filed during the two phases of Manipur violence and reveal details of how armories were targeted in Manipur, with mobs lobbing grenades, breaking locks, and fleeing with sophisticated weapons. Let's dive into the details. According to the Indian Express report, the police records reveal over 4,000 arms have been seized from armories in Manipur since the violence began, though some have been recovered since. The Indian Express accessed police station records from across the state pertaining to loot or attempted loot of arms from security personnel in Manipur since May 3, 2023. Now, of these, 20 mentions that security personnel resorted to the use of tear gas or firing to ward off the mobs. In one instance, the same location was looted twice, more than 3 weeks apart. The FIRs have been filed on a suo motu basis or by security personnel in police stations in Imphal East and West, Bishnupur, Thoubal, Kakching and Churachandpur districts, and most pertain to armories located in the state's valley areas, while 9 pertain to incidents in the hill district of Churachandpur. The most heated encounter described between security personnel and mobs is from an attempt to loot the 3rd IRB Battalion, Kangapok in Thoubal district on July 4th. One member of the mob was killed, while 3 BSF personnel and 1 Assam Rifles were injured in the incident, and 3 FIRs were registered at Thoubal police station by the police, the BSF and Assam Rifles respectively. The FIRs mentioned that as many as 3,000 people had mobbed the battalion, and that when a combined force of district police, IRB personnel and BSF tried to disperse the mob using minimal force, they retaliated with live rounds and grenades. The FIRs describe a face-off that continued for more than 6 hours, in which Assam Rifles joined later, and state that the mob used petrol bombs while security personnel fired in the air. The BSF FIR states that BSF personnel fired 290 shots. Significantly, the mob was not successful in seizing arms from the campus. Now, most of these FIRs describe the looting of armories in the first few days of the violence, as well as during the second phase of violence, which began on May 28th. The FIR registered in connection with one of the biggest such lootings, the seizure of arms and ammunition from the Manipur Police Training College in Pangi on May 4th, states that a large mob of 5,000 miscreants wielding arms and lethal weapons entered the campus and overpowered the sentries on duty. In that incident, the FIR states the seized weapons included 175 INSAS rifles, 98 SLRs, 28 INSAS LMGs, and 1 AK-47 and 91 .303 rifles. Weapons were seized from the same campus yet again on May 28. This time, the FIR registered stated that many rounds were blank fired by the campus sentry and guards, but that they were still overpowered by an unruly mob of 4,000 to 5,000 armed with lethal weapons like AK, SLR, etc. Nearly all the FIRs describing mobs successfully seizing arms from the establishment state that personnel were overpowered. Let's take a look at an example, which is an FIR registered in connection with the seizing of 15 SLRs, a .303 rifle, an INSAS rifle, 20 smoke grenades, and several rounds of ammunition from Wangu police station in Kakching district on May 28th. It states that a mob of 1,500 barged inside the police station in the morning. It describes the encounter as follows, quote unquote, "When the police personnel tried to control the mob, they overpowered and marched inside the police station. Some of them broke open the lock of the station's Malkhana using a hammer and barged inside the quarters. Police personnel tried to intervene and control the mob, but they became very unruly. Subsequently, they looted and took away some weapons with ammunition." Another FIR registered in connection with the mobbing of Churachandpur police station on the night of May 4th states that several rounds of ammunition were fired in the air, yet a mob managed to loot arms and free 3 people who had been placed in police custody in the lockup, stating that police personnel were outnumbered due to their large number and aggressive behavior, the FIR added that 3 AKs, 2.303 rifles, 2 INSAS rifles, an SLR and 3 9mm pistols were seized along with ammunition in 30 minutes.